All right, everyone, welcome. Before we get started on our introduction, I would just like to. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Mr. DiBiase, and this is our introduction. All right, so with our introduction, there are three key things that we want to do. Number one, every introduction, if you've not watched the video yet, please watch it, is our hook. That's number one. Number two, what we'll talk about in a second here is our bridge. Number three, that everything needs, is our claim, right? So, these three things are going to be present in every introduction. Your introduction is so important, right, because it sets the tone for your paper, it sets the tone for your writing. So, I'm going to highlight these. Our hook is going to be yellow, right? Our bridge is going to be orange. Our claim is going to be green, right? So, a great way to think about an introduction is like a funnel. So, at the top of the funnel, with our number one is our hook. The top of the funnel, our job is to grab as many readers as possible, right? We want to say why this is important, why this is relevant. We want to hook in our readers. We want to grab this and say, hey, everyone, here's something that I know a lot of you are interested in, right? So think about this as lots of people are interested in. Our second thing is our bridge, and our bridge has a very simple but very crucial purpose, right? Our bridge, the idea of our bridge is to connect our hook to our, which is our next thing, our claim, right? Our final thing, number three, right, is our claim, right? Absolutely, right? Our main idea / what we are proving. Right? So our claim, right, we talked about this. If you haven't watched the claim videos, watch the claim videos, right? But our claim should be very narrow, very focused, right? At this part right here, right, this is where we're really nailing in on the specifics of our paper. This is saying, hey, everyone, I know you're interested in these big ideas, right? But let me show you how these big ideas kind of narrow down, trickle down to my very specific things I'm going to talk about in my paper, right? And then we'll go through and talk about those specific things, right, and color those in nicely, right? Awesome. So here's our example thing, and let me highlight this for you, right? In third grade, all of my friends were invited to a birthday party except me. Oh, no. Although I'm over this snub, I will never forget the feeling of loneliness I experienced, right? Man, that's sad, right? In that moment, I felt I was an outsider, right? So that's kind of our hook. 12,000 bonus points if you can yell out, actually don't yell out, raise your hand, clap 3 times, and say what type of introduction it is. Not 12,000 bonus points, but I will laugh. Yeah. Our next thing is our bridge, right? And our bridge is when we are connecting that hook down to our claim. We're showing how those two things relate, right? And this is in our orange, right? Throughout the outsiders, the greasers are often thought of as the true outsiders. However, all of the characters in the story show characteristics of being outsiders, right? That is Horace saying, hey, this story in third grade about feeling left out, which maybe some people can relate to, right? That is something that relates to this story, right? It relates to what I'm saying. I'm funneling it in. And then finally, our wonderful claim. An example of this is Cherry and Ponyboy. As different as Ponyboy and Cherry may seem, they share a similar perspective, right? That is our, quote, our specific claim. Okay, so for our hooks, if you remember them, write them in. If not, look back on your notes. If you haven't done your notes yet, go back, right, and get those notes done, get those notes created, right? So what we're going to have here, right, is for our bridge, right, we are concisely saying how these two things relate. So with this, what we are doing is we are showing our connection. So here are some sentence frames if you need them, right? This relates, let me start over, relates to blank because blank, right? This relates to the outsiders because we see similar ideas, similar things going on, right? Here is another one for you. Another one for you. Blank is also seen in blank, right? Right? These same ideas is or are also seen in the outsiders, right? That's a nice kind of way to smooth our transition, right? Let's do one more. I'll leave one blank for you, right? Blank is evident, which means something that you can see in blank, right? This same theme, this same idea is evident in the outsiders, right? This is another good way, similar way to connect those things, right? So that is just kind of your bridge, right, to connect those two things. This relates to blank because of this, right? So we want to say how it relates, right, and why it relates is a good way to kind of narrow those two things down, okay? Now, let's work on our practice really quickly, okay? So, our practice. Pretend this is our question here. What does it mean to be an outsider? S.C. Hinton asked this question time and time again in her novel, The Outsiders. Although they may seem very similar, Randy, a Soc, and Ponyboy are a greaser in their own unique ways. So what we are doing is we are connecting those two things together, right? How do we connect this to this and make it seem smooth and nice, right? A funnel, right, is not shaped like that, right? A funnel is shaped nice and smooth, right? That's how we want it to be, right? So let's take a shot at this, right? So we're trying to connect Randy and Ponyboy, right? And we're going to try and connect them to being the ideas of greasers. This should be different. I'm sorry, guys. Right? We're trying to connect them to being greasers, right? So one thing that you could say is in the outsiders, there are two groups, the greasers and the Socs, right? These groups at many times seem very different, right? And the outsiders are two groups, the greasers and the Socs, right? These groups at many times seem very different. Although, and we connect those two things, the greasers and the Soc, Randy, right? We connect them and we bridge those two things in, okay? So we will get to our claim next, but for now, right, what you want to do is make sure you complete this last part here, trying to connect these two ideas with a nice bridge. Again, if you need some more help or if you're confused, right, Mr. DiBiase, which is me, I am here to help you, I'm here to assist you, but that is where this particular set of notes ends, okay? Make sure we watch our hook notes, make sure we watch our claim notes, make sure we watch our introduction and bridge notes. When you have all of those done, show Mr. DiBiase and you can get rolling on writing that introduction, right? And once you have this down, there is not a ton that you need to worry about and focus on. So again, our three elements of our introduction, our hook, which we talked about, right? Our bridge, which we practiced once, is to connect our hook to our claim, and the claim itself, okay? So that is our video. Make sure you're doing all that stuff, and please, 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 if you have questions, ask Mr. DiBiase. Thanks, guys.